Okay, so in the last session I showed you how to set up a dedicated session in this kind of pre-room here. Um, this session I'm going to show you how to actually get into the room and how the students will get into the room. Um, they will come to this area and select either the course room, or if you've instructed them to go to a particular area, they will click on one of the links. So let's imagine it's this particular link they need to get into. They will click here and then they will join the session over here. So this is just going to be a very brief tour of the basic functions. I will go into more detail in another video on what each function does. But the two main areas you need to worry about are this one here in the top left and this one here down in the bottom right, which is a pop-out. Okay, so let's start with the top left. So at the moment I'm recording, so that won't be recording to start with. It will be like this. So you have to click on start recording. Ethically, you might want to consult with the people whether they're okay with that. At the end of the session, you have to leave down here on the left. That's always an embarrassing moment where everyone says goodbye to each other and no one is able to leave. So you have to remember to click up here on the top left again. Down in front of you are four icons here. You can see there's share audio. Remember to unblock your mic if you want to be heard by the students. But in preparation or as you're getting ready, you got your cup of tea, make sure you do block it. The video I'm going to leave unblocked for this tutorial, but you can share video. And this is a raise hand. This is really for students to be able to raise a hand. You can raise your hand if you're part of someone else's session, but that's really useful when you've got a large number of students, possibly all talking over each other, and by raising a hand or by asking them to raise hands before speaking, you can control the flow of conversation a little bit. So let's quickly go through each of these on the bottom right icon. First one here, the speech bubble, is the chat pane. You can see there's no one in here apart from me at the moment, but it's quite nice to give students a message in case you can't get your audio working, or a student is having difficulty getting their microphone working. You can give them instructions to send you a message in the chat pane. By the way, if a student can't get on or they can't get audio, your best bet is that they've tried to go in through Microsoft Edge. Try and advise them to go through Chrome or Firefox. Okay, second icon along is the attendees. You can see who's in the room basically from here. It's just the moderator at the moment, that's me, but you'll have a list of your participants as well. To the right of that, quite pale, you'll see the connectivity signal. So I'm having an excellent experience at the moment. And then very pale to the right of that are the attendee controls. At the moment there's just one option here, but when you have your participants in the room, you'll see by clicking next to their names, you will be able to reveal other options. So you might be able to make, you might want to make a participant into a presenter, so change their status and allow them to use the microphone, or allow them to take control of the PowerPoint slides. So the third icon along is one of the most important, really. It's the share content icon, and it gives you three options here. These are the three most important options, really. You've got the share blank whiteboard, which is just enables you to start writing. I'll show you how to do that in another video. You've got the share application screen, which is the second one down, which allows you to share either your entire screen or a particular tab on the right hand side. These are my tabs I've got open at the moment, and by selecting these you can then share them. So I just cancel there. Then we've got the third one down, which is the share files option. You can basically access any of the files on your computer here and upload them in advance of your webinar, so they're ready to go. You don't have to upload as the webinar starts. They will stay in the webinar room. We could leave this session now and they would still be there, so that's a really useful feature. So to go back, I click here where it says share files, that little chevron, and I go back to the previous screen. I've got polling here. If I want to do some polling, I can set up a multiple choice or yes, no. Just as important here, I think, is breakout groups. If we click on this, you can see, obviously it's just me at the moment, but you'll have a list of everyone who's in the room here, in the main room. We are in the main room at the moment, but we can move students, click and drag them effectively into different groups, different breakout groups, and then click start, and that will take them into a different environment where they can have their own separate chats, and we can also create other groups, as many as we like. Okay, just to revert to the previous screen, I click again on this chevron. Okay, that's that icon. This is the share content icon. Just to finish off this video, the fourth one along is the session settings. You can set up the settings before you come into the room, but you can actually change them as you go along. At the moment, I've got participants only able to post chat messages in the chat pane and able to draw on the whiteboard and files. But if I want them to all to be able to speak, I will have the audio blocked out, and I might want them to share video. In fact, this is the default. If you don't do anything, this is the default. All four will be checked. So you might want to decide what you do before or while you're setting up the session before your people arrive. Okay, I'll just collapse that. And then above that, you've got notification settings. Basically, there's a series of audio notifications. Every time someone posts a chat message, I've actually unchecked this one because I found it was annoying me that there was a beep coming up every time someone posted a message. But you can play around with those, have a look at them in your own time. So let's just collapse that, and that really is it for this video. I'll go into more detail in the next video on how to share content, share PowerPoint files, and take students through those, and how to write on this whiteboard.